Alrighty, guys. We have just gone 8 o'clock in here, so let's get started on the commercial category. Thanks to the major sponsor of the Iris Awards, Canon. Is it too loud? Is it too quiet? Ah. Do I need to eat the microphone? Closer? Ooh. Is that better? Do I need to speak this side of it? Maybe. Oh no, someone's turning me up. That's good. Okay. All right. Welcome to the commercial category, guys. Thank you to the major sponsor of the Iris Awards, Canon. We're going to play that. They've got a wee video. Push the arrow again. Who's excited for commercial today? Yay! That's what we want. Some excitement in the room. Day 2. So commercial category is sponsored by Rothbury Insurance Brokers. We have a video from them too.
We've been through some tough times in terms of business risk, so we leave it to Amanda at Rothbury.
Your local Rothbury broker will manage all your insurance needs,
It's good to know she's got our back.
so you can focus on what you do best. Rothbury, leave it to us.
All right. Thanks to our sponsors. So today we have myself, Lydia Nimmo, on the mic in the panel seat, and my assistant, lovely assistant next to me, is Angela Murray. So now we're going to just play the run through, and if you judges can just keep an eye out for if there's any other exclusions that we need to be aware of. Alrighty. Good mix of stuff in there for you guys. If you could just bring any exclusions for, just write them down. We've got paper. Yeah, and then we'll give them to Cindy. Oh, was there a pen there? Oh, Angela's got a pen. Yes, yeah. Okay.
If you already wrote it down, we've already got it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure I did it, but I never remember doing it.
Hello. Okay. I'm just going to, while Cindy's just double checking, I'm just going to run through the category description for you guys. So the commercial category is for images created for business marketing, advertising, editorial or magazine work. This category showcases photography that serves a commercial purpose, demonstrating creativity, technical excellence and strong visual storytelling while effectively meeting the needs of a client or audience. This category celebrates excellence in commercial photography by recognising images designed for real-world business applications. Entries may be commissioned or self-commissioned, but they must be intended for use in a commercial setting, whether for promotional, editorial or advertising purposes. Self-commissioned work must be created with the intent to sell or license for commercial use. Images will be judged on their technical execution, creativity, storytelling and effectiveness in a commercial context, meaning they should be suitable for their intended business purpose, whether to promote a brand, convey a message or engage an audience. This is a major editing category, which means all forms of post-production are allowed as long as no computer or AI generated elements are used. Yeah. So just a couple of reminders for the judges. We just need to try and stick to time today, guys. So if you have more information to add, just signal to me or Angela, and we'll, grab you. And the usual, that the printed entries, it's normal for there to be minor imperfections in matte boards and paper, dust spots, flecks or flaking, that they should disregard these during judging as they can happen at any time in the printing, matting, mounting and handling stage. Unless instructed otherwise, do not touch, blow, brush, anything like that. That's for the print handlers. Cool. Alrighty, let's get our first judges on the panel. Let's have, can we have Jackie, Jeremy, Richard, Craig and Clinton up first, please? And judges, I will also ask you that if it's an elective challenge and you want to take that, just eyeball us so we know that you want to take that challenge, please. Alrighty. Let me click my button. All right, are we all signed in? Everyone ready to roll? All right, first print, please. All right. We have a bronze award, 77. Congratulations to the photographer. It's a bronze. Happy? All right, and could we get somebody to speak to this image, give the photographer some feedback, please? Who would like to do that? Craig? Yep.
Yeah, I think this has got a really nice atmosphere. I just found the left-hand side quite heavy, and I wonder if a slight crop there might just take some of that heaviness away and balance it out a little bit more.
Thanks for that, Craig. Alrighty, next print, please. Next print, please. Nice, we have a silver award at 81. Congratulations to the photographer. Could we get maybe Richard, would you like to speak to this one, please?
Really beautiful tones, beautiful shapes, beautiful palette, sharp the whole way through. There's not a lot here I can give in terms of negatives. So yeah, beautiful image, well done.
Thank you. Next print, please. And we have a bronze award, 78. Yep, and Jeremy is going to challenge that.
Yeah, I think there's a really nice balance here of probably awkwardness, the vase falling versus the text on the book, the swing of the camera. Like, I just see every fool in a gallery with their camera, and maybe this is a commentary on that. Maybe it's a commissioned work from a gallery, just on stupidity that we see all the time with people and cameras and artwork. And I think the photographer is conveying that quite well. The expression on his face with the props, everything leaning, him leaning. I think there's a really nice balance to all of the awkwardness in this frame, and it's been really well captured. The colour is beautiful. I think they've done a really good job, so I think it's deserving of silver.
Alrighty, let's hear from Clinton. You're down the other end.
Yeah, I'm down the other end. I didn't award it a bronze award. I appreciate the awkwardness in it, but there's a few things that I really struggle to connect beyond, and I think are execution related. One of the things is the lighting on him, the podium, all that. It doesn't seem to all tie together, like the shadow on his face doesn't tie with this beautiful light by his feet. I'm sort of feel like there's a little bit something lacking there. Where's the shadow of the book, the hand? But the thing that I really struggled with is actually the colour. You mentioned you loving the colour. I really struggle with the colour of the skin tone and how wrong it feels. It feels to me like it's too saturated, too yellow in an attempt to complement the blue, but it's gone too far. And so I recognise there's some really good, the author's got some really good ideas going on here, but I just can't see it in the Silver Range from an execution point of view. And that would be my encouragement to the photographer is great ideas, you're a clever person, but work on the execution and tying that together and test the print.
Okay, Craig, can we hear from you, please?
Yeah, I'm in support of this on 82. I think the colour is almost like it's got that kind of spotlit museum lighting, so I kind of forgave that yellowness, especially in the face a little bit. What really took me into 82 was just his expression on his face. He looks so confused, like the photographer is the museum person who's just shouted at him for destroying something precious, and he just looks shocked and confused, and that's what sold it to me, and that's why I'm in Silver Range.
Thanks, Craig. Back to you, Jeremy.
Yeah, just to address the colour, I think if he wasn't warm, then maybe we would be talking about how cold the whole image was. So I think because there's so much clinical blue in there, that the warmth of his skin tone, I think is okay. Like if he was cooler, then I don't know, there would be a really clinical look about this image where it's obviously something comical and lighthearted. So I don't see there being a problem with the yellow. Yes, I do agree it is a little bit warmer than what it probably should be, but I think that's to offset the overall blueness of the image. So I think it's worthy of a silver. If you've got some room to move, I encourage you.
All right, let's rescore, please. And we have a silver at 80. Congratulations to the photographer. Good chat, guys. All right, next print, please. All right, we have a bronze award at 77. Congratulations to the photographer. Jackie, would you like to speak to this one?
The old time, is that working? Yep. The print choice, quality, the sepia tone is going really well with the subject. There's just a pole in the front that's really stopping me getting into the photograph, and I wonder whether the photographer could have brought some more atmosphere in here by creating some dust or something like that, just to make it feel even more old and being restored.
Thanks, Jackie. Next print, please. Alrighty, we have a bronze award at 75. Congratulations to the photographer. Who would like to talk to this one? Craig? Yep.
I think there's some really cool stuff going on in the kind of centre right-hand side of this image, and I think cropping into that would be really interesting. I find that large figure on the left really distracting, and then what really distracts me is that there's another figure behind him kind of in the belly of the guy. So definitely cropping into the cool stuff that you've got going on that other side.
Thanks for that, Craig. All right, next print, please. All right, we have a silver distinction, 85. Pardon? Oh, thank you. Congratulations to the photographer. Let's get a few words from Jeremy.
Congratulations, this is really cool. I love there's a bit of humour in there, the working with the vinyl. For those that can't see this in print, for anyone online, they've presented it in a vinyl sleeve, and the vinyl sleeve looks like it's been dragged and used and handed through generations. It's really well executed. I love the pop art vibe happening through there as well with the dots. Yeah, it's really clever, it's well lit, it's beautifully presented. Congratulations.
Thank you. Next print, please. All right, we have a gold award, guys, at 90. Who was the highest? Yeah, you can challenge it if you're the highest, Craig. Yep, every point counts.
Awesome. Well, I'm at 93, and I think it's definitely worth talking about this. Obviously, we all love it. It's gold, so if we can get it a few more points, I think that would be worthwhile discussion. I just love the confidence that this person is exuding, the expression and the positioning of the body. Like, this is somebody so comfortable in their skin, and I think it's fantastic.
All right, let's hear from Jackie.
I'm very close at 88. I'm taking all of that on board. There's really nothing that's incorrect here. I was a little bit concerned about the airbrushing around the leg, the way the legs they came together there and the lighting, but otherwise no. I'll come up to gold.
Okay, we have Clinton and Jeremy. You guys are on the same score. Could we hear from one of you guys? Yeah, Clinton.
Look, yeah, I scored at 91. I think it's definite gold. It is beautiful. It's thought provoking. It is that confidence exudes. I think you're entirely right, Craig, on that. Everything has been expertly handled, from the printing, the lighting, the post production, the textures in the background add to the depth of the story. And they don't feel like there's anything forced to get it into that arty vibe. So no, this is an exceptional image. I could have been a bit more generous than 91 even, I think. I think it would be great to see you, Silver Distinction team, come up a little bit higher. But yes, beautiful work, photographer.
Great, right. Back to you, Craig.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I think that what I also love about this is the circles in the background are like layers of this personality. So that really took me up to my 93. I would love to see it get a few more points and maybe even a little bit higher than 93 if we can.
Alrighty, let's rescore, please. Yeah, nice chat. A few more points. We're Gold Award 93. Congratulations to the photographer. Next print, please. Oh, we've got some electric charge going on in here. Alrighty, we have a silver award at 80. Congratulations to the photographer. Let's hear from Jackie. Would you like to comment on this one, please?
Yeah, once again, this is beautifully printed, and the story through this is working really well, from left to right, and the stage management. Yeah, maybe again, I'd love to see some smoke, not smoke, a smoke machine going off in here and bringing in some light. That's all. Really well done.
Alrighty, next print, please. And we have a silver award at 82. and Clinton is going to challenge that.
Yeah, look, we all agree it's beautiful. I just think you need to get into some of the story. I'm quite enthusiastic about this image. Colour tones, amazing, fantastic, really nicely handled. Even that highlight in the top of the frame, we'll get to in a second. What you've got here is like perfection emerging from the sort of milky sea of construction imperfection. So you've got these beautiful verticals emerging from this wavy nothing, but then there's this ladder to the pinnacle of this building, and the only thing that's bloody been able to climb this ladder is a seagull. So the only thing at the peak of this existence of this architecture is a seagull. The only thing that held me back from actually going higher, sorry, I scored 87, was actually the horizontal line of the roof, and it annoyed me that it wasn't horizontal, except for when I looked at it from a balance point of view. I am okay with it because the image still balances, but I'm like, oh, that is the one thing. And originally I thought the being so bright at the top bothered me, but as I got this sort of ladder to the heavens, to the pinnacle of this building, I'm like, no, that's actually makes sense with this, the ethereal, the heavenly being this brighter, inaccessible place. So I think it's definitely silver. I think you guys could be a little bit more enthusiastic and see some of that story that I'm feeling on that. Like, this is an image you can feel, so let's reward the artist for that.
Okay, thanks for that. Let's hear from Jeremy. You're down the other end.
Yeah, I was in bronze. I really loved this when it came around, and I was hoping that I would love it even more when I got up close. And I think that the bottom, I don't know, 4/5 of the image are great. That highlight at the top is probably the thing that's really pulling my eyes away from where my eyes really need to be, which is a real shame. I was a bit soft in bronze, and I will move, but that highlight, I just wish that highlight wasn't at the top because it's so dominating and it really pulls my attention away from where it should be. I love the seagull on top. The depth of field is beautiful. It's been really well managed. Just that highlight, please, someone talk me out of this feeling.
Who else would like to talk to this? Let's hear from, Richard.
Yeah, everything that Clinton has said. Beautiful colour palette. Love the little story added there. Love the seagull on top. I think you're right about the lines. It's all a balancing act, and maybe well done for creating that little white space at the top to put the title or text.
Okay, back to you, Clinton.
Yeah, he absolutely nailed it. That you've got your magazine title there. You've got your architecture digest, whatever. So even if you don't buy into this is the heavenlies, which, by the way, it is a highlight, but there is detail there. This is not a completely blown out in the print. So I think if you realise that, you should be definitely joining in Silver Distinction. Put a cover title on there, and you'd easily be in Silver Distinction with me. So let's do it.
You heard him, guys. Let's rescore. And great discussion. We have a Silver Distinction 85. Congratulations to the photographer. Could I just have a blank screen, please? We're just going to do a little judge change. Clinton and Jeremy, we'll get you guys to step off, please. And we're going to bring on Matt and Deirdre, please. Next print, please. Okay. We are starting with a gold award at 90. And Craig's going to challenge that.
Yeah, I am. I'm at 96. I think this is completely unique in the presentation with this teardrop. I love the black core in the matte. It works beautifully with the halos of those barbed wire. The kind of scratchy look to this. The balance of that hair is perfect. The emotion in those eyes is unreal. And the colour, that blue cool tone, just icy with that stare coming out. I haven't seen an image quite like this, and I would love to see this in the gold distinction range.
Okay, who's down there? Let's hear from Jackie, please.
86. What took me away was that I just wasn't getting that emotion out of the eyes. There was a sense of just the depth of field dropping off at the top of the headpiece. But I'm listening because it is a beautiful artwork. I'm not sure how it could be used commercially, but it's certainly unique, and I'm listening. So I'm coming up to maybe into gold.
Okay.
How far? We'll see.
Let's go to Dedrick. You're up there with Craig in the gold range. Dedrick, do you want to? Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. We're in the middle room too.
I'm at 92, playing it a little bit safe, and I'm pleased that Craig was a bit more daring than me. I love this. The composition, the symmetry, the symbolism, even the treatment. I don't need to see all the detail you would expect to see in a hair. I mean, it's combination photography, illustration. I'm not sure how it's done. Huge amount of skill. Tonal range is beautiful. The palette's yummy. Everything works. It's quite unique, and I think I'm going to potentially move my score a little bit higher even.
Thank you. Did anyone else have anything else they'd like to add? Yep, Matt.
Just quickly, the paper choice was really interesting, and the hair could have blocked up, but the paper choice has actually given the hair little highlights and flecks of light that works really, really well.
Okay, let's rescore judges, please. Oh, sorry, Craig. Of course you do. Come on.
Of course I do, because I need to address some of Jackie's concerns. I think that the emotion is that direct blank gaze. I think that's the point. I think we're pulling in this image so much from religious iconography, pop art, and I think there's so much going on in here that we could unpack for hours and hours. I think that the halo of barbed wire looks pretty sharp to me. And as for commercial application, I could see this being applied in lots of ways, particularly in hair competitions and things like that, so for stylists. So I think that's what its commercial use is. So I'm on 96. I would love you to join me in gold distinction.
Alrighty, let's rescore, please. And we have solid gold at 93. Some good discussion there, guys. Thank you. Next print, please. And we have a bronze award at 75. Congratulations to the photographer. And Matt, you'd like to speak to this one? Or challenge? Speak? Yeah, comment? Yep. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, comment.
Yeah, the mirroring of the architecture in this image creates a really beautiful and powerful form. What could have helped improve it is a lot of the blemishes on the building facade are mirrored on both sides as well. So perhaps a little attention to detail and creating some variations in that, and perhaps something that subverts the mirroring as well to give us something to discover when examining the image.
Great constructive feedback there. Thank you. Right, next print, please. And we have a bronze award, 78. And Craig is going to challenge this.
Yeah, I've got this on 83, and I just love the concept here, the light coming down into the box and focusing on this main character, and that blurry audience looking on in the background. I think there's some beautiful atmosphere and depth in this, and love to see it in silver.
Okay, let's hear from Richard.
Yeah, I'm appreciating the interest in the image and the shapes. I think the light's coming out from the box rather than into the box. But what sort of held me a little bit, well, quite a bit actually, was around the hair and the back of the head. It's lost all the detail. It's very in the black. However, it should be lit. I mean, there's light coming out from the back of the box as well. And I just wish there was a bit more detail representing that as well.
Oh, sorry. Thanks, Richard. Let's hear from Matt. Yeah, Matt. Yeah.
I was on a high bronze, so I'm not too far away. I was held back by the block of light coming through the hair as well. I thought that was a little more clumsy than some of the refinement in the rest of the image. And I was a little bit confused by narrative, but perhaps that's something that needs to be added through the actual text that would be added to this piece in a commercial sense. So it kind of felt like a bit of a zombie crowd, and maybe that zombie crowd is now discovering the thing that's going to bring them alive. I'm not sure. But yeah, I was trying to piece that together.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, back to you, Craig.
Yeah, I can't tell you what the narrative is fully because I don't quite understand it myself, but I appreciate the work that's gone into this and that there is a narrative there. And again, I agree. The back of the hair could be better refined. That's why I haven't taken this higher. So I think this deserves a few more points, definitely.
Okay, judges, please rescore. And we have a 79 bronze, so we're going to go into review, and so you just need to decide if that's going to be a silver or a bronze, please. And we have a silver, 80. Congratulations to the photographer. Next print, please. Okay, we have a gold award at 90. And Jackie is going to take the challenge.
I scored it more than 90. I scored it 94. I think it's obviously really powerful. There's nothing that's been taken away from that power. The stare of the bull and the swish of its to push up all that dust, and it's a perfect sort of photograph. Why isn't it higher than just 90? The lightness on the right transitions to the darkness on the left that gives you a division, gives you a space. It's perfect.
All right, let's have a discussion, guys. Matt, let's go to you.
Yeah, I agree that the stare of the bull is all gold, and as is the dirt being kicked up and the little tussles of grass and things that you can see through there. It has a lot of different commercial applications. Pretty much anything that wants to say that it's tough could use an image like this to market itself. What held me back initially was the post being right beside the bull's head. I guess in a perfect world I would have liked to have seen that be within a clear space in the fencing rather than right beside it. But I'll have to evaluate how many points that's really worth.
Okay, Richard, let's hear from you. You're up in gold as well.
As I was walking up there, I was getting ready to give it a 96. But unfortunately, I've given it a 92, but I was just pulled back because of the grass looks a bit murky in places where it appears there's been some heavy editing in there. I think rather than that, I might have tried to crop. So that sort of distracted me, but it's a heck of a powerful image. Love the detail, especially in the dust. So I was happy on gold at 92.
Okay, and yeah, Craig, you'd like to add?
Yeah, I'm on 92 as well. Jackie, I can definitely find some more points, I think. I think that the foreground gives the image depth. So we're down on the ground level with the bull, and I think that also helps to shape that light area underneath the foot there, where it's like it's just scraped up all that grass and dirt that it's kicking up. So I think if we crop that out, we're going to lose that shape a little bit, and I really enjoy that shape. So yeah, I think that's why that's there.
Thanks, Craig. Deirdre, you had something to add too? Yep.
It's a stunning image. I love how it's been handled technically, creatively. The printing's nice. Yes, the detail is missing a little bit in places. The fence post behind its head annoys me. You've got all this control over creating this image, which is made to look strong and intimidating. Takes that away, but also I think, given the camera's low, that bull is supposed to look intimidating and large, but yet the fence line is actually really quite tall, so it makes it look quite small. So if they'd lowered the fence line a little bit, maybe it would have had a lot more impact. So I was a bit stingy on 82. I'll come up a bit, but yeah. Thank you.
Oh, back to you, Jackie.
All right. The position of the bull's head needs to be low because he's going to come at you. You know, got his back front down and back up, and that's how bulls come at you. I think the post is also, there's a lovely repetition of that with the front foot. They're creating a kind of frame that's giving extra tension to the face, and I think it's really effective. And you have to do what you want to do, but I'm on gold at 94.
Alrighty, let's rescore, please. And we've moved up a point. We've got gold award at 91. Congratulations to the photographer. Now that was our last print entry, guys. So we're going to switch over to digital now. And while we're doing that, we might actually have a little judge swap too. Let's bring Richard and Jackie. Let's give you guys a wee break, and we're going to bring on Chris and Bruce, please. Sorry, what was that? Sorry if you guys can't hear me. We're in the middle room.
Change it yesterday in one swap.
Yeah, I guess. Is that better? Can you guys hear me better over there, Matt?
A little.
Yeah, a little.
There's just a lot of spill sound coming in.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
We're good to go. Good to go on the digital. Alrighty. Now, on our judging panel, guys, we have, at the moment, we've got Craig Turner-Bullock, we've got Diederik van Heinigen, hopefully I didn't butcher that, Matt Palmer, Chris Anderson, and Bruce Moyle. So, let's get going on the digitals. First image, please. Just while the judges are checking out this first image, we've got a few people to thank. So we're going to thank Ilford for providing all the gloves for all the print handlers, for all those beautiful prints out the back. Just helps them take care of all of those prints that we all put so much time into. Yeah, and Judges Morning Tea for day 2 is sponsored by Emerald Hill Partnership. So thank you for feeding us all. Alrighty, we have a silver award, 82. And Chris has got his hand up.
Oh yeah, I'm keen. I'm on 87. Oh, this is really loud. I'm on silver with distinction. I love an overhead image like this, and it's really, really great when you know the photographer has squared everything up, and all the horizontals are horizontal, and all the verticals are verticals. And it's not that way across this entire image. So all those little squares that make up the parking lot area, they're all beautifully precise. And there's that ramp at the bottom that lifts to the right. And there's those little parking spaces on the right of the frame that have been left in where they're just angled off the tiniest little bit, lifting to the right. And that's really nice. But then all 3 of those vehicles are also a little bit on an angle, lifting to the right. There's this subtle lift that comes through the whole thing. So in an image like this, they've already done all the stuff you're supposed to do. Everything is sharp. Everything is beautiful. It's not totally clean. It shouldn't be totally clean. This is a real working space. You can, aside from the commercial applications of this in an annual report or on the wall or anything like that, we've represented the truth really well, but it's that little lift to the right that implies we're going to the future and we're elevating, that you could put this in a report next to a graph about how amazing the future is. I'm on silver with distinction. I'd love to have a chat.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Craig, let's go to you. You're down the other end.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I missed lots of those subtle details that you saw. I really like the way that it comes up on the right on the road at the bottom, and that there's one little arrow that goes backwards. and I guess what was keeping me out was the balance of it. But then I think about the commercial application and the space for text and things like that. So I've definitely underscored this at 76, and I'll come up to distinction. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely be in silver.
Thanks for that, Craig. Let's hear from. Let's go to maybe Bruce, actually. Bruce, have you got something?
Nothing more to add, actually.
No?
I'm good with it.
Okay. Matt?
I was on 84, so I'm very happy to come up. I guess selfishly, I would have loved to have been able to read the little yellow text on the back of the vehicles. And perhaps if we had a larger screen, that might have been possible. But yeah, I'll come up.
All right, back to you, Chris.
Not hearing too many negatives, which is really good. I think Craig talked himself up, so thanks, Craig. Love it. And yeah, if this was sitting in a foyer where it was really big text, you would see that, and it would be rewarding. I think you can see enough. I think this belongs. You know what? I didn't need to say anything else. I'm on silver with distinction. Come on up.
Yeah, let's rescore, guys. And fly it did. 86, silver distinction. Congratulations to the photographer. All right, next image, please. And we have a silver award at 83. And Bruce is going to take the challenge.
Beat you, Craig. I'm an 87, silver distinction. I think this is mesmerising as a bit of art, but also as a really interesting communication on a space. Like, it's not literal completely. It's got an Escher feel. It's got these parallel dimensions coming through it. And it's silver. You could see this printed really well, like we're watching digital, but if this was printed in a particular way for a big space, it could be just enveloping you. And you've got that figure in the middle that just draws you in and makes it feel real yet unreal. And I think it's worthy of a silver distinction because it's really well handled. It's metallic. It's all these specular highlights are handled well, and they could easily just overshadow everything in this space. But it just leads you through, and you keep going and going and going. And I could see this for a museum or some space where you just go, come and get lost in our world, and I think it's worthy of a silver distinction at the least.
Thanks, Bruce. Do you want to just swing the mic over to Matt there, and we'll hear from him, please?
Yeah, I put it into the high bronze area for much the same reasons, and I guess I'm having difficulty where to give the points to the architect or to the photographer. I agree that the photographer's brought a great level of control to the scene. Those highlights are stunning and they make it feel very metallic, which is exactly what you want. But I felt like the model could have been utilised a bit better. it's quite static, and I do appreciate that they are facing away from the camera, which adds to that sense of mystery, and it's like you're going down the rabbit hole, perhaps. But that was kind of where it let me down. But I could come up.
Yep. Chris, did you want to?
Yeah, so I'm on 84, so I'm like super, super close. It's not very often an image gives me motion sickness. If I was here, I would have slipped and fallen down these stairs for sure. Like, they look slippery, so it's wonderful. I love that you said, Asher, it's perfect. It's disconcerting. What kept me out of Silver with Distinction was the subject. Like, I think they're in the correct spot, but I don't think they've been utilized to their full extent. There's something more that I want from that. Craig is jumping out of his seat. This is good. He's going to explain it. If you can explain it, I'm moving up.
All right, Craig, do you want to add to that?
All right, yeah, I can explain it from my perspective anyway. As Bruce said, like, the commercial application for this, there's just so many. But from that character point of view, I feel like she's this, like, cool, poised alien creature with some tail whipping around and walking down into her lair. So I think that they're like, the fact that she's away and that she's so, like, the arms are down and so poised really added to it for me. I can see, like, sci-fi in this, and so yeah, that's what I see.
Alrighty, back to you, Bruce.
Thanks, Craig, for that. The tail was an interesting choice, but I think, yeah, the subject could be done in a dozen different ways. I agree, but I think the pose here is actually doesn't need to be too excited or too outstretched or anything like that. It is that space. It's kind of liminal. You don't know. This person is not necessarily needing to be crazy, exaggerated or anything like that. I think it's just a way to get us through the image more than anything. Overall, I still think it's worthy of a silver distinction, and I'd love to see you guys give it a few more points.
Okay, let's rescore, please. Well done. Silver distinction, 85. Great discussion there, and congratulations to the photographer. Next image, please. All right, we have a 79 bronze award. So, yep, Chris is going to take that challenge.
Yeah, I'll do this. I'm on 83. I had this just moving up into the silver range. If you are the photographer who has been contracted to shoot these structures, there are excellent choices that are being made here. So we've shot it. The structures are in silhouette, which is great because I think you could really spend time trying to get detail in there, but you don't need it. The silhouette shows you the structure, which is cool. We've chosen an angle where you have that disparity of there are some lines on one side and not on the other. But the other choices in this that I think take it out of that bronze range into silver, there's two. One is there's been careful handling of the sky. So there is detail in the clouds on the right-hand side and towards the bottom, which gives it beds it into reality, and it makes it less of a purely graphic piece and more of, oh, this is real. And then, I mean, it's got a bird. You got to reward the bird, right? Is that the rule? There's that one bird on the peak, on the pinnacle, and that brings a little bit of life, and it brings a little bit more reality to it. So I think this deserves a couple more points. We're sitting in silver. Let's have a chat.
Okay, let's go to Deirdre.
I think it's a beautiful image. Composition I'm really enjoying the more I look at it. A little step to the right and we would have lost that post on behind the tall one. The circles work really well. The lines you're getting drawn into place. I take all that on board. To me, it's a solid bronze. It's a nice image, commercial application. I don't see it as anything more special than that. I'm sorry.
Okay, Matt, yes, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I scored it into bronze, and hopefully you can help me with that. I really appreciated the treatment of the sky as well. I would have loved to have seen a little bit wisp of cloud in the top left to fill some of that empty space. I can add that to the wish list anyway. And then the two poles on the far right-hand side, they're just so close together, but not quite. And I wonder if there could have been a compositional choice where there was just a little bit more separation, perhaps with that little T-junction, giving that space against the pole to its right. Would have lifted it into silver immediately for me.
Okay, Chris, back to you.
All right, thanks, guys. Diedrich, most of that was really nice. Most of that was in support, so that's good. I think whether you see more in this or not is personal, and I can't change that for you. So hopefully we can, what I say to Matt helps. Kind of two things. The proximity of those two poles gives us a really nice tension and a weight, and I think that keeps you moving around the image. If it wasn't like that, it'd be quite static. But there's this weird gravity well that happens that I land on that and then I move around and I come back. So it encourages me to spend more time here. And if that tension wasn't there, I don't think it would be as lovely. And keep in mind, the bottom left and right corners have been done perfectly. Like there's just the right amount of space there. It's equivalent on both sides. So the choice about where we've stood, including keeping those two poles together, is really important. For the top left, it's a perfect spot for body text. I don't want to have a cloud behind it. You can put a heading there, you can put a magazine article there, you can put whatever you want there. It leaves an excellent, clean spot for text. So that feels really intentional to me, which is the kind of thing you want for a silver.
Alrighty, let's rescore, guys. Nice. We have a silver at 82. Congratulations to the photographer. Just pretend there's a blank screen for a second, guys. We're just going to have a bit of a judge change. Craig, Diedrich, and Matt, we're going to give you guys a break. And we're going to bring on Clinton, Jackie, and Adam, please. Next image, please. And we have a bronze award, 76. Congratulations to the photographer. Chris, would you like to give some feedback, please?
I would love to. I think there's such a tremendous amount of detail and color in this that is gorgeous. That's been handled really well. So you really feel the subject the way that hopefully, if this is a commercial image and it's for a florist, you feel the florist is going to be really happy with this. I think to elevate it, the way that the edges of the image truncate on the bottom and on the left feel a little drawn into me. And I think if we'd let that breathe just a little bit more, we would have had the totality of the piece, and it would have felt a little bit easier to look at. But a bronze is awesome, so well done.
Thanks for that, Chris. All right, next image, please. And we have a silver award at 81. Congratulations to the photographer. Let's hear from Adam. Yep.
Yeah, there's an almost an ease, like if we're talking about this in a commercial sense, there's a real quiet confidence perhaps in his face that this looks very energetic at the top of the frame, but he's quite comfortable with what's going on. And that's a nice sort of strength. I guess to elevate it even further, it's about going around the little details that pull us away from that intensity. Some stuff on the ground, and even perhaps the vignette, just kind of draw me away from that. So just really cleaning up and making sure we focus right in on him would help it.
Great feedback for the photographer. Thank you. All right, next image, please. And we have a silver award at 80. Congratulations to the photographer. Jackie, would you like to speak to this one?
A beautiful mix of panning, slow shutter speed, and subtle light coming in here on daybreak or dusk. Really good emotion. Lovely space for text. I'm not sure, maybe to improve it, maybe a little pop of light, a little bit more light and expression on that face, but it's very good.
Thank you, Jackie. Right, next image, please. All right, we have a silver award at 80. Could we get maybe Chris? Would you like to speak to this one?
I would love to speak to this image. There's a lot of really good choices have been made in this. And there's some things where on first approach you kind of go, oh, do I want to see as much of those windows on the right? Yeah, you do, because you want to see the curve of the building. Like the architect's intent is being represented really well. This bird gets around. I like it. It has the solo bird. We need a category for solo birds. And the tree is actually really beautiful too. So like that kind of brutalist architecture is balanced really neatly by the tree. If you wanted to elevate it, I'd maybe think about cleaning up some of the dirt on the right-hand side of the image if this was for the architect's purposes. And it almost feels like there's this tiny bit of gray in the sky. And I'm not sure if that was my eyes playing tricks on me or not, but just kind of making sure the color in there carries through would elevate this a little more.
Yeah, something to take note of for honours next year, eh? A bird category. Yeah, the solo bird. Yeah, solo bird category. Maybe a slideshow would be nice to, set to some music at the end. All right. Thanks for that, guys. Let's just do a quick judge swap. Bruce, we're going to bring you off, and Jeremy, we're going to bring you back on, please. Just balancing out the Australia, New Zealanders on the panel. Alrighty, next image, please. Okay, we have a silver award at 82. Congratulations to the photographer. Clinton, would you like to speak to this one?
Sure. It's a beautiful image. I love that you've thought about what you've included in and not in this. Initially, I thought I didn't like that top third of the frame, but actually I love that you've included this sort of an area that doesn't need explanations of what to do. So I think you've thought through this really well. The tones are handled beautifully. What would I be giving you to feedback to improve on? I think carry on and keep finding these beautiful spots like that. Fantastic. Congratulations on your award.
Thank you for that feedback. All right, next image, please. Just while the judges are viewing this one, we're just gonna, so this category, commercial, is sponsored by Rothbury Insurance. And as a professional photographer, your work and the images you produce are your livelihood, so it's important to have the right insurance cover in place. While carrying out your trade, you also need to protect yourself against liability and anything unexpected. Focus Plan is designed especially for photographers and provides comprehensive insurance protection to cover your unique situation and protect both you and your business. The insurance covers available include full replacement cover on equipment, full theft cover, less than market standard excesses for burglary, malicious damage and theft, optional drone covers, optional professional indemnity cover, automatic cover for hired and equipment, and lots more. All right, we have a bronze award at 77. Congratulations to the photographer. Jeremy, could we hear from you, please? Yep, Adam, go ahead.
Look, this is a really well executed, shot of everything, and it looks like it's in quite a tight space. You can see from the reflection there's obviously something that's quite close behind them as well. So they've done well to keep everything level, and it's a good client shot. As for improving it, I would just be sort of finding the brightest spot of the image is probably over near the door, which makes sense perhaps from a lighting perspective, but in an overall thing, perhaps just evening out the tones and leading us through the image into where the central area we want to see. Just that little attention to detail.
Great constructive feedback, thank you. All right, next image, please. Okay, so we have a silver distinction at 86 and a challenge from Jackie.
Go girl power. She's got a lot of it. She's got a lot of swish. She's got. Oh, I saw 92. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah. Go gold power. yeah. There's the beautiful detail of just her holding her hips and she's really in the moment. The atmosphere in the background really doesn't take me away from that. It's a kind of dream world. I couldn't see anything that was taking me away. I know I did my scores just kept creeping up and up. So I went into gold, and I'm asking you to consider her persona, her feel, all the things that the photographer has brought to this, including a sense of skyscape and auroras and landscape. Yeah, I'm on gold at 92 and asking you to think about it.
Okay, so let's hear from Adam. Yep, you're on the same score as three others as well.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yep.
So I sort of, I wasn't sure if I was the low score, if I had support. Look, I'm still on 83, which is a solid silver, and I rewarded, I guess the Aurora was kind of the impression I got too. I felt a little bit of a disconnect with the energy of that Aurora sort of thing and her face, which I kind of understand maybe is sort of relaxation, but also gave a little bit of ambivalence. And the part of the image that I'm drawn to is not really her face or her outfit, which is quite an interesting shape, but her shoulder is where I come back to. And I kind of wanted to be led either up into the face to get that expression, or down into the outfit, which is if a commercial image is what if we're trying to sell that feel. So that's what just held me in. I'm still in strong support at silver because I think there is some energy in the image and it's been technically well handled. But yeah, I'm listening to come up.
Thanks, Adam. Jeremy, could we hear from you, please?
Yeah, I was on 88, and I'm right behind you, Jackie. I think this is really beautiful, and the more that I look at it, the more that I'm drawn into it. I think there are so many elements that have been really well executed. The body position is really strong, but it's really subtle at the same time. The touch on the Aurora thing, and Adam just said something about electricity, like those little strands coming out through that Aurora look, it's organic and it looks electric at the same time. So that's been really well executed as well. I think there are so many different commercial applications that could be used for this, and I want to go to Finland straight away. Like, this is pulling me into another world that, I want to be in that world. But the execution, amazing. It's beautifully presented. I love it, and I've got space to come up, Jackie.
Thanks, Jeremy. Back to you, Jackie.
Oh, hey, sorry.
Yep, Clinton, you've got something to add?
I'm just going to jump in here.
Yep.
I'm on 83. A couple of things I'd like you to talk to, Jackie, to convince me on is I found the highlight on her cheek, our right cheek, it's just seemed a little off. Like, this is a beautiful skin tone and it's been handled beautifully, but it's like almost trying to be Rembrandtish, but not, like it's quite a low. But the other thing, while you're looking at that intently, Jackie, the impassive look, that really kept me in the silver range, but also the sort of, the movement around her head, behind her head, didn't feel organic like the energy that you're describing and all the other aspects. So I love the image. The photographer's done a really beautiful job. It's striking, but I see it in a silver because of these things that kind of held it there. So tell me otherwise. I'm listening.
Right, first up, the shoulder and I think the face and the shadowy kind of area behind the head, I think it's all about her movement, that she's actually moving through this space. She's not static. So the shoulder is pushing out. I mean, it's attitude. It's like, it's like that bull, bring it on. The shiny part of the face, it doesn't disturb me, but perhaps it could have been, massaged down a little bit darker, but from a silver to a gold, for me, it's emotion. And I think it's been very well crafted because of those blues at the bottom and the yellows and the movement and the sense of stars. So I get a sense of just a bit more realness here. It's not just Photoshop trickery. she's in this space, and that's why there's that sort of sense of shadow, movement, attitude, spunk. 92. Come on.
Okay, thanks, guys. Let's rescore, please. And silver distinction 88. Congratulations to the photographer. We're just going to do a quick judge change. Chris, could we get you to step off, please? And Matt, we're going to bring you back on. Thank you. So we've got Matt Palmer switching on. All right, next image, please. And we have a bronze award, 77. Yep, absolutely. Adam is going to take that challenge.
Look, it's probably just worth. I'm at 80, so I'm only just into silver. But I wanted to just talk about what I think is the strengths of this image, as opposed to standard architectural work or elevated. I think what the photographer's done here again, in what looks like a fairly confined space, so all of the lines are, I think, where they should be. We get a lovely sense of flow of the natural light that comes through this and how it's reflected. We get the outside environment. We had that lovely line that leads us into that other environment at the back that would, be really appealing for a client who's trying to show off how, and perhaps it's more an advertisement for the wood paneling. In that case, it's quite successful as well, because all those lines lead to this really nice homely environment that gives me that sense of natural light. So I think there's a little bit. I said I only have it just into silver, but I want to reward the photographer for handling all that and giving us that feel that takes it above just a static architectural internal image.
All right, Jackie, you're down the other end. Let's hear from you, please.
I've taken that all on board. I scored it 73 because I thought it was just overlit. Why not bring emotion to this by pulling down the exposure more? I can see all the wood, and I would have got more connected with that space. With the view outside, if it's important, it would have come into the story a little bit more. I felt it was a little bit overlit, but I've gone a little bit too hard on this, and I'll come up to bronze.
Okay, Matt, you're in the middle. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, one thing I appreciated is the shape of the light in this image. It directs you into the different spaces and also out to the nature as well, which I think is an important part of this image. I'm seeing it as like little cabins or something that you can either buy or stay in. And I think the lightness of the image is supporting that kind of lifestyle as well. The thing that held me back from going straight into silver, I'm on 78, is I felt like that strong triangle leads you into the back room. But through no fault of the photographer, I feel like that space is a little bit understaged. Those bookshelves kind of take up a lot of space, and if the stager had have put some things in there to support that lifestyle, I think it would have helped improve it.
Yeah, great. Back to you, Adam.
Yeah, look, I agree, and that's why I say I'm on a low silver, because that's the next step of elevation that gets us up towards those strong silver and silver distinctions. I think, and from a internal design or something, I think we perhaps as photographers might want the dark and the brooding and the sort of dramatic light, but this feels airy, it feels inviting, and it connects the outside environment to an you can have the outside environment in the inside. So I think it's quite successful in doing it and leads us right through the image. So I'd love to see it rewarded with a few more points.
Okay, judges, please rescore. And good discussion there, guys. We have a silver award at 80. Congratulations to the photographer. Next image, please. And we have a bronze award at 75. Congratulations to the photographer. Let's hear from, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah, the photographer's captured this beautiful grid of textures in this image, and it's almost like you can touch those textures. I think what held me back personally is I feel like the two strongest elements are the black lines at the top right and then the little non-smoking sign, and I feel like that's telling me to look at those and that those are the important things, but perhaps it needed another element to tie it together and tell us what it's all about.
Thanks, Matt. We're just going to have another judge change. Clinton, we'll give you a break, and Richard will bring you back on, please. Next image, please. All right, we have a silver award at 80. And Matt is going to take the challenge.
Yeah, so I scored this into the next range at silver distinction. I felt like for somebody in this industry, this image is so full of information. You can see load capacities of different parts of the ship. You can see a little bit of the cargo that the ship might be containing. It's very symmetrical and yet asymmetrical because some of those components go over both sides of the image. The edges are very neat and straight and everything that you want them to be. But yeah, I'm just rewarding how much information has been captured in this image and also the very bold colour palette that's presented as well.
Thanks, Matt. Let's hear maybe Richard.
Thanks, Matt, for the pointing out the more commercial application. It's certainly a very interesting and colourful shot as well. I was at 77. What held me there was I felt it was really constricted, and I felt quite trapped in that tight space. And I know it's a probably storage area, and it is going to be tight, but I felt really held in there, and I would just love to see that crop a bit looser.
Okay, how about we hear from, sorry, just checking, Adam, you'd like to?
Yeah, look, I was on 78, and I am probably a little shy because I did appreciate the information, I guess, and the perspective, and it almost sort of looks like one of those, you know, cruise ships kind of things. I can even see the swimming pools kind of thing. The more that I look at it, I guess I was probably a bit confronted by the colour and sort of the heaviness of that red. But from back here, it kind of appeals more than perhaps a forensic examination. I can come up to silver, and I'm listening to come up even further to what gets it up there.
Thank you. Matt, back to you.
Yeah, I agree with you that the crop is very intentionally tight. I feel like it's just giving you enough of that water on the edges to tell you exactly what you're looking at without giving you anything more. I actually quite like the tightness because of the storage aspect of it. And even sitting back here, I can imagine those boxes that music equipment are stored in and then brought to the gig. That's what I'm seeing as like a stack of boxes in the center, and yet it's actually, I'm looking down at it rather than side on. So I'm appreciating the different ways that I can look at this image and the boldness and the color, and bring your score up as much as you can.
Thanks very much. Let's rescore, please. And we have a solid silver at 83. Congratulations to the photographer. Next image, please. And we have a bronze award at 75. Congratulations to the photographer. And Adam, let's get some feedback from you, please.
Yeah, again, you know, well done on all the straight lines. And I feel this image is more about, you know, in a tight space again, with more about the wood paneling than perhaps the actual thing. And so it's been quite successful. There's good depth in that. You know, it's very easy to make those frontal parts, you know, out of focus just to lead us into the background. Perhaps playing with the crop at the top maybe leads us a little bit of that. I know we lose a bit of that wood paneling, but perhaps it just gets us in there a little bit more to really focus us in.
Thank you, Adam. Okay, let's just have a quick change. Jackie, we're going to give you a break, and Craig, we're going to bring you back on, please. All right, next image, please. Okay, we have a silver distinction at 85. Congratulations to the photographer. Who would like to speak to this one? How about, yeah, Adam?
Yeah, I'm on the low end of Silver Distinction, but I'm glad to see it there. I think it's got a lovely palette right through, and the way it really reaches up into that sky, and even perhaps the clouds, especially on the bottom right, kind of gives me that impression that we're higher than the clouds. It gives a real sense of scale as well. What stopped me a little bit is perhaps just the way the colour shifts, or the tone shift in that bottom left-hand corner. It's just a little heavier than the rest of the image. It just sort of takes me out of that beautiful gradation. But the way that those blues match against this lovely pastel sky is really effective.
Thanks for that, Adam. Next image, please. And we have a bronze award at 75. Congratulations to the photographer. Matt, could we get some feedback, please?
Yeah, I think it has a cohesive colour palette. It's lit really well. It has lovely texture throughout the image. I think the photographer's probably done really well with what they had, but I think the staging itself is creating a few issues. So the glasses kind of get lost up against the curtains and things like that. It's a very simple image, so it's kind of hard to take this image further without finding some way to change it up.
Thank you very much, Matt. All right, next image, please. Okay, we have a gold award at 90. And did you want to challenge that, Adam? Or
I think we should, if I'm the highest person, I think we should talk about it
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
Anything gold,
Yep,
yeah,
go for
absolutely.
it.
Apart from the initial beauty that you get, there's an ease of the pose that it belies the environment. And then all the little details that you sort of go and look at. And of all the styling is wonderful. Like it's masterful how it kind of gives that effect of the water and the sort of command, I guess, of the environment as well. It looks very heavenly, like the little angel wings, or perhaps. And the skill in it, as I go in and really look, even is that the thing I'm drawn to, apart from her that intense gaze that looks back at me, is that tiny little highlight right on the top of the thing. It's kind of like the jewel in the crown almost, which I'm glad I just thought of right then. But it's the way it leads you right through the image. It feels like it feels like a very natural environment for this person. As a commercial image, you want that ease. This, I do this every day. You could look like this every day if you think. I think it's such a successful commercial image, as well as just being visually stunning. So yeah, I'm encouraged.
Thanks, Adam. Jeremy, let's hear from you. You're down the other end.
Yeah, I was a bit soft on this. I think the success is also the challenge that I find in this image, in that it feels like it really should be selling something, and I think it would sell something really successfully. So the hand is where my eye goes to after looking at the face, and I feel like there should be something in the hand that it's selling, like a perfume bottle or something to offset the brightness of the face. So I felt conflicted while I was looking at this image. I've got space to move and I can definitely come up higher, but I just felt that tension was holding me back a little bit, where I was drawn in one direction, but I felt like I was going in the other. So there's a tension in there for me.
All right. Matt, you had something to add there?
Yeah, I think it's selling hydration. So that could be 1,000,001 products these days, but it's all to do with skin and hydrating and making sure you're healthy and all of that kind of thing. I was on 88. Adam's already addressed my concern with the jewel in the crown. That highlight is very strong, but if it's also contributing, then I can overlook that. And I guess I'm a victim of seeing a lot of underwater photography, so I felt like the water, the lighting in the water wasn't necessarily all that authentic. However, there's no requirement that it be authentic, so I'm willing to overlook that and come up into gold as well.
Yep. Craig and Richard, you guys are up there with Adam as well. Would one of you like to?
Yeah, just really quickly, I'm on 91, and just to address the hand, I feel like this is like a siren just beckoning you in with that hand gesture. So for me, that added to the story, and I think she could easily sell me any kind of perfume or cosmetics.
Thanks, Craig. And Richard?
Just to address the hand from my point of view, beautiful lighting, perfect lighting, beautiful pose. She is actually holding something. If you go up and have a look, there's a ball of, she's in the water, but she's holding a ball of water in that hand. There's a ball of water floating above her palm. So she could be selling hydration, unless it's a bubble. And I agree that it's really peculiar that that highlight at the tip of the crown actually makes the image. It's beautiful.
Great, thank you. Right, back to you, Adam.
I'm glad the hand's been handled. I had a couple of arguments for them. I don't think I need to. I think it's selling a feel. It could be, as you say, it could be hydration. It could be a fashion collection that's just based around water. It's androgynous without sort of having that kind of, it doesn't have to have that anything about gender or anything. It's very strong. Yet it's very subtle at the same time. And as I said, it's all just as I looked at it even from back here, I'm drawn right up through the image. But I feel like there's just such control technically, and the person is in control. So I'm on 92. Let's get up a few more points.
Yeah, great. Let's rescore everyone, please. And we have a solid gold at 92. Congratulations to the photographer, and good discussion there, guys. All right, next image, please. And we have a silver award at 81. And Craig's hand is up. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm at 87. I'd love to see this get a few more points. I think the pattern and symmetry in this is absolutely stunning. And then just to break it with that light so perfectly placed on that black line of the framing there at the bottom right, I think is really adding a lot of interest to this, as does that bottom arch of the rail. And the gradation in the sky is really stunning, reflected in those windows.
Thank you. Let's hear from Matt. You're down the other end.
Yeah, I agree with everything you've said. Unfortunately, I'm just the person that found the sensor spot, which is on one of the panels on the very far left. And also, I feel like they have beautifully straightened all the verticals in this image. However, it's caused that little slight white sliver on the top left corner. So there's just a few really tiny details that you want to get perfectly in these architectural images. I'm willing to forgive them perhaps a little bit more, but I'd find it hard to come up to where you are.
Okay. Let's hear from someone in the middle. How about Jeremy? Or Adam? Yep. Yeah. Yep. You're there.
Yeah, I had it at 84 because I didn't specifically. I saw the kind of the way it just came up a little bit at the edges too. Like I didn't sort of pick it, and I'm no good with sensor spots. That's your, that, you know. But I was just rewarding everything that you said as well. I'm rewarding the palette, and when we ask photographers to kind of give us context and give us differences, you know, that's what I think they've done successfully here. They found all those elements that you could have together and put the puzzle together, I guess. So that's why I rewarded into that, high silver.
Thank you. Yep. Back to you, Craig.
Thanks for the discussion on that, and thanks for pointing those out, Matt. I did miss those. Let's rescore.
Rescore, please. You just have to enter your same score. And silver award 82. Congratulations to the photographer. We're just going to do a wee change. Adam, could you come off, and Chris, we're going to bring you back on, please. Thank you. All right, next image, please. And we have a bronze award at 75. Congratulations to the photographer. Yep, Chris. We'll get Chris. Yep.
Congrats on the bronze. To me, this feels like an ad for the wood paneling, and I think there's obviously it's the architect's choice, but there's enough personality in the different kind of pieces of wood here to kind of give you as a consumer, hey, here's what this could look like. I think if you wanted to. And also, I wanted to reward the outside looks kind of gloomy and the inside is warm. So there's a sense of wanting to be in this space, which is great. To elevate it, there are some areas like the bright kind of highlight on the counter towards the left, and this the top of where that sunbeam comes in on the right that feels a little uncontrolled. And if we could control the texture in that would elevate this further.
Great. Thank you, Chris. Just before we move on to the next one, we're just going to do another wee shift around. Jeremy, can you have a break, please? And Dederick will bring you back on. Thank you. And next image, please. And we have a silver award at 83. And Craig's hand is up. Take it away.
Yeah, I'm at 88 on this one. I think the colour palette is absolutely incredible. The light is gorgeous. There's so much depth in this and dimension. I feel like these containers are just coming out of the image at me. And I just think the attention to detail and the visual design of this is really stunning.
Thank you. Matt, you're down the other end. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, I was in bronze for the image design as well. I felt like the strength of the orange made this image about the orange cargo containers, and they're the ones that have the action message of hiring them. So I almost interpreted it as these are the cargo containers you want, not the kind of more murky ones in the background. But there are a number of different ways that you could interpret this, so I'm eagerly listening.
Let's hear from Richard. You're kind of in the middle.
Yeah, I'm on 81, silver. Firstly, yeah, incredible light. It's got a softness to it, but yet there's so much saturation in those containers. And I'm really curious about the treatment too. It's like all the detail is gone. It's really beautiful and stunning. And I'd love to talk to this photographer about how they did that. But they almost look like miniatures. And there's so much depth. So yeah, such a simple idea, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and Chris, you've got something to add?
Yeah, just really quick. I'm on 86, so I'm in support of this. And there was a thing that really bothered me at first, which was the little tiny bit of fence at the bottom that came in. And then, like, I was kind of getting stuck on that. And then I went, oh, this grounds it and makes it real. So it's not miniatures. It's an actual space, which makes it more real. So, yeah, awesome.
Fabulous. Thank you. Back to you, Craig.
Yeah, okay. If you've got Richard Wood wanting to talk to you about advice on how this is done, then it's not an 80, is it? Let's be fair. And Matt, the way that you've interpreted this, maybe that's exactly what it is. Maybe it is saying hire these orange containers because they're new and shiny and orange. So I don't see that as a negative interpretation either. I'm on 88. I have some support up here. Let's get this to a distinction.
Alrighty, rescore, please. And you did it. We have a silver distinction, 86. Congratulations to the photographer. Next image, please. And we have a bronze award at 76. Congratulations to the photographer. Matt? Yep.
I think the photographer's done really well to highlight the materials used in this kitchen construction, from the marble look through to the wood paneling. Also like the color harmony between the artwork that's been selected and the flowers on the kitchen counter. I feel what could have helped improve it is perhaps shooting at a different time of day or in different conditions where that skylight isn't going to be quite so dominant in the frame, and also where the highlights that it creates aren't going to distract from the nearby elements as well.
Thanks for that feedback, Matt. Now we're just going to do another judge change. Matt will bring you off, and Bruce, can we have you back on the panel, please? Welcome to the panel, Bruce. All right. Next image, please. So for those of you watching at home, currently on the panel we have Richard Wood, Craig Turner-Bullock, Chris Anderson, Diedrich van Heinigen and Bruce Moyle. And we have a 73. Could we get some feedback from Craig? Thank you.
Yeah, I think you've captured a beautiful tonal range and presented that really well. I question the application of this image and the use of the mirroring here. If it's to advertise the boardroom, I think the distortion that those chairs have got now just from flipping them, it doesn't work for me. So thinking about how you could maybe include the full chairs and not have things blending maybe would lift this a bit more.
Thanks for that. Next image, please. And we have a silver award at 81. And Bruce is going to challenge this. Take it away.
So I'm in silver distinction just on 85, but I think it's worthy of a chat. I think the tonal range in this is amazing. The conversion to black and white is just beautiful. Like every detail's there from the highlights all the way through. Now the actual object itself is really interesting. It's got this central feeling through that reflection, which is really well handled. And then you've got those flowers, which I'm not sure what they are because I don't know my botany. Apologise for that. And they are the standout part of the image, but they just break up the symmetry of the image to give it that organic feel where it could feel really quite static. And in this instance, that actually gives it that organic nature it really needs to bring it together. I think it's worthy of a silver distinction. I think there's some room for improvement in here, which I won't talk about because I don't want to bring negatives in. But yeah, I think it's worthy to have a bit of a chat about what we can do with this image.
Okay, let's hear from Chris. Yep, you're down the other end.
Yeah, I'm on bronze. I think it's really striking, and you're right about the tonal range. And I really appreciate that for most of the image, it's very black or white, and the tonal range is all in what I presume is the thing we're selling. I presume the commercial application is in the vase. And it's a really striking image, but the vase gets lost for me. All of the interest goes to the stuff around the outside and to the I'm going to call them the Dalmatian plant. I don't know what it is either, but we'll call that. But like, there's so many dominant elements in here that I feel like the vase is the least performant element, and it's the thing that doesn't grab my eye, which is a shame because I think, it's a beautiful piece, and the photographer's done a good job at capturing it, and the tonal range is great, but it gets lost in amongst the really bold stuff that's around it. So maybe I had the wrong commercial application, and if you can explain that or explain why this works, then I'll come up.
Thanks, Chris. Richard, let's hear from you, please.
I was on 84, so 1 point short of distinction. Happy to come up. In terms of application, I don't think we should make assumptions. We don't know whether this is for an advert for a vase or an advert for an interior designer or an advert for an artiste or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think we just have to, for this one, appreciate the image in its entirety. I don't think it's an image for the plant. I don't think that plant actually exists, but I could be wrong. So yeah, let's look at the image in its entirety, and yeah, it's very well crafted and incredible control on those blacks too. So I think it should be rewarded.
Thanks, Richard. Back to you, Bruce.
Yeah, I'll go with that, Chris. That it could be seen in different ways, or if you're going for the vase into itself, it could be cluttered. But you could also think about it as a space where it's selling the idea of design, and design is something that needs the complementary things in there a lot of the times. If you're not wanting just that static object, and I think that's done really well, and it's well laid out, and I think. If you walked past this in a shop window, it'd make you stop and you go, what is it? Even if you're not sure if it was the vase or the flowers that you're looking at. So let's give it a look at and award it appropriately.
Thanks, Bruce. Let's rescore, please. Nice. We have a silver distinction at 85. Congratulations to the photographer. Next image, please. And we have a bronze award at 75. Congratulations to the photographer. Let's hear from Richard. Would you like to give some feedback?
Very interesting image. It's really dynamic colour. My eyes did keep darting to it. There's a slither of light along that far left stretch of green. There's a slither of light. And you wouldn't have to wait till a slightly different time of day. It is a full editing category, and that could have been removed. It was just a distraction that kept dragging me.
Thank you for that. We're just going to have a little judge change again. Richard and Craig, thank you very much. We'll give you guys a break, and we're going to bring back on Jackie Rankin and Clinton Lloyd, please. And next image, please. And we have a silver award at 80. Congratulations to the photographer. Could we hear from Chris, please?
Yeah, well done on the silver. I think the tonal range in this is magnificent, and it's not a monochrome image, but it feels like it. And the space is really well represented, and the balance is lovely. I think to elevate it, there's one portion of the cabinet towards the bottom right where the light's just fallen off, and it merges in with the background. And if that was lifted just a little bit more, it would represent the space just a little bit better and push it up.
Great feedback, thank you. Next image, please. All right, we have a bronze award at 76. And Chris's hand is in the air. Take it away.
I'm trying not to shock myself again. This is a really good image for showing a progression from organic to cold and steel. Like on the bottom left, we have that little tree coming through and it's brown, and it's the only thing that feels organic and real. And towards the top right is perfection. It's this beautiful building that's been handled with the blues, and in the middle is this that white section. Still feels weirdly organic because it's not perfectly clean. Like, I don't think this is a new structure. It's a structure that's had some life and it's a little bit dirty. And when you look at the composition, like, it's really pleasing. The weight of the bottom left-hand corner offsets the top right beautifully, so the balance is wonderful. The sweep through the image is wonderful. And the little tiny bits of tree that are just creeping out, maybe almost not successfully because they're being smothered by perfection and technology and society. Like, there's a lot to read into this. I'm on 83. I'm in the silver range, and I would love to hear some more about this.
Jackie, let's hear from you, please.
I scored 72, partly because of that big white section. You couldn't even describe it, besides being, excuse me, I didn't mean to say that in a bad way, but for me, it's not until you get up close that you can really see what it is, but it just was that big white section that I felt was overlit. I really enjoy the composition. I would have brought it into the bronze area for that, and I'm after the emotional part of it, and maybe it's overlit, but I'm listening.
Someone in the middle. Clinton, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I love hearing you wax lyrical so eloquently about that. I'm not buying it entirely, especially you're trying to justify the tree breaking into that. It doesn't feel intentional enough to believe you, for me to believe you. And I don't believe it on the image. That it almost feels like it. If you just even photoshopped out the twigs breaking the frame and contained nature in that little tiny pocket that it's permitted in, that would have been more believable. It just, so yeah, beautiful image, love the composition, 100%. I scored at 78, but I think it sits in a high bronze range, and I'm happy with where I sit. But great chat.
All right, Chris, back to you.
All right. I'm sorry you don't believe me. I'll have to try harder. The little bits of tree that were sneaking out were probably initially one of the things that bothered me. And I thought they don't belong there. But they break what is otherwise a perfect pattern. And I'm always looking for a break in the pattern, right? There's everything else about this, other than the clouds, is really organic. And I want something to break it. And they do break it just a little bit. And you don't see it right away. So it kind of rewards you for wandering around. So, that's going to be a personal thing for me. That was meaningful. As far as the big chunk of white, like, if this was pure white and there was no detail, it would be a highly graphical piece and still successful. But it's not pure white. There is texture the entire way through that. There is detail the entire way through. And I can't tell you what the structure is. Like, it could be the side of an overpass or whatever. I don't really care, because it's got these beautiful verticals that have texture, and it's more than a pure white space. It's something that gives you... There is value in that to me. And like we talk about kind of, body text and copy text and where that could live in that space. I actually don't think it needs to. I think it's quite nice as a piece like that without having to, like, there's no narrative in there. It's just texture, and it's a delightful texture. I'm on 83. Sounds like I have some work to do. I'd love to get a couple more points for the entrant at least, but if you're really game and you change your mind about believing me, come into silver.
All right, let's rescore, please. All right, we have a bronze award at 78. Congratulations to the photographer. Next image, please. And we have a score of 72. Could we have some feedback, please, from Clinton? Yes.
Cool. I think you've done a great job here with a cool idea, a beautiful costume, but things I'd love to see you work on, because there's some great technique in there, is anything in the background that isn't adding to this image shouldn't be there. And that could be a cropping decision or a reframing or positional decision, but there's too many things in here that distract me from what's going on potentially in the model there. That don't add to the story behind it. So perhaps work on that. And just looking at little things like her hand position, if that was in a different place, it wouldn't be so lost there. So yeah, great work. There's some nice light, beautiful spot of a location, but just work on some of those things, and I think you're on a great track.
Nice feedback, thank you. Right. Next image, please. And we have a score of 72. Could we have some feedback maybe from, Bruce? Thank you.
So, well done for entering and giving us a chance to talk about your image and look at your image. The thing that when you're doing a space and you're trying to show a space, mirrors are always the hardest element to deal with, anything that's reflective. I think overall the layout you've got here is quite nice, the little bit of chair coming in and things like that. It sets the space, but that mirror is dominant and the reflection is the most dominant part, and it actually takes you completely out of the space because it's off angle. The actual mirror is twisted on its axis, and that's giving us that. So in this space, you probably want to either take the mirror out or change the angle of it, or it is a commercial space, you can comp stuff, you could actually fudge it a little bit to make it more interesting.
Thanks for that, Bruce. A lot of the judges nodding along in agreement with you there. All right. We're just going to do a wee judge change again. Chris and Derek, let's give you guys a break, and we're going to bring Adam and Jeremy back on, please. Next image, please. All right, we have a bronze award at 79, and Jackie's taking the challenge.
I scored it into silver at 82. The control of colours, the control of the spaces, and the mirror. And the mirror in this case is so expertly placed, and the depth of field so well chosen. What's in the frame is meant to be there and creates frames. There's a sense of story, a different story going on in the other room with just a tiny bit bluer that separates those spaces, so one from a bedroom and one to the bathroom. I think it's quite sophisticated. I think the lighting is really well controlled in the silver range.
Okay. Let's hear. Would anyone? Because you guys, you're all on the same score.
Oh.
The rest of you.
I really appreciated the reflection and the depth through the image as well. It was, and I understand that the bed at the bottom there is to kind of give us again that sense, but I feel like the mirror does that, and it's the colour and that dominance of that bottom figure on the bottom left, and a little bit the cut-off lamp on the left-hand side that pull me out of that story. I can kind of see into both areas in successfully, but I'm pulled away from that mid bit, and that, that's what just held me just out of silver.
Thanks, Adam. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add? Nope. Okay. Back to you, Jackie.
Well, it's a really good high bronze. Well done. And perhaps what might have brought it up for the others would have been a little bit more desaturation of that orange subject that's been reflected in that mirror. But well done. Maybe it's a girl kind of thing,
Alrighty, let's rescore, please. And we're still on a 79, so we need to go into review. So just enter whether 79 or 80, bronze or silver, please. And we remain a bronze award at 79. Congratulations to the photographer. Next image, please. Okay, we have a silver distinction at 85. Congratulations to the photographer. Who would like to give us some feedback? Yeah, Jeremy, take it away.
Yeah, congratulations. This is really beautiful. I like that it's not perfect. You can still see the bolts in the corrugation. There's a little tilt on the right, which just brings it back into reality, which I think is really important in a frame like this. And the touch of the birds in the background was a nice addition as well. So congratulations. Beautiful shot.
The birds in there again. Multiple. They're cut. They're cut from the solo category. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Beautiful image. All right. Next image, please. And we have a score of 73. And yep, who would like to give some feedback to the photographer, please? Yeah, Bruce? Yeah. Yep.
Well done on entering. For when you're doing something in tight spaces, bathrooms are notoriously tight, and that one of the things that you've got to be really careful of, you've got your verticals and your horizontals looking really good for the most part, but you instantly, on those edges, bring in distortion. And that, like, the toilet is the really obvious one here, but it's across the board. And that's like foreshortening along and everything that's happening. And got to be real careful, because something that's so ubiquitous as a toilet is really obviously out of proportion to anybody who looks at it. And so that sort of takes you out. So play with your perspective controls, look at things like tilt shift lenses and things like that if you have the ability to do that, and this will help you elevate, or zero distortion wide reticular lensing.
Thanks for that, Bruce. All right, we're actually going to just have another judge change. Bruce, we're going to give you a break. And Matt, we're going to bring you back on, please. Okay, next image, please. All right, and we have a 73. Clinton, would you like to give some feedback, please?
Yep. Thanks for entering. To the photographer, I think you've got some really nice ideas going on here, and I think it's something that you could develop. Like, we see the Speed Queen, we see this sort of bride laundering, the new you, that kind of vibe. But it's just a few things that you could elevate the image, or this sort of idea. There's some reflection issues that you could work on, the posing, the hair, and some things you could take out, perhaps like the FPOS machine, but also even just thinking through some fun things. You could have the groom's clothes in one of those dryers or something like that. So I think you're on a really good track of thinking of interesting ideas and just develop them more. And that might be even before you go to shoot to get to that point. But yeah, great track. Keep going. Thanks for entering it.
Thanks for that, Clinton. All right, next image, please. Just while the judges are checking this one out, we've got some events and things happening this week. So yeah, don't forget to visit the trade stands when the photo show, once they're all set up. But yeah, for those of you online, if you're in Christchurch, come on in and check out all of the entries. Everything that has got an award will be up in the print gallery. And then Thursday night, some of them will be up for auction from 6 p.m. at our live print auction. And followed by our Iris Awards wrap party, where all of get some dancing happening. And all the finalists will be announced. So definitely come on in. All right, we have a bronze award at 78, and Matt is going to take that challenge. Thank you.
Yeah, I put this into silver. I feel like this is a very dynamic image that uses the repetition of those angles successfully to create something that has a lot of visual interest. I'm dubbing it in my head the porcupine building. I feel almost like this building has defensive spikes to keep predators away. It's also a strong candidate for the solo bird category. I'm sure you all noticed that while you were looking through, and I feel like that is placed to kind of reward you for examining the different areas. And even the little bit of rust, the rustic metal, the corrugated metal there, gives a different texture and also a different color palette to draw you into different parts of the image. So I wasn't too far from you guys, but I put that into silver.
Thanks, Matt. Jeremy, could we... Or Adam? Yep, Adam, you're there.
Yeah, I really appreciated the shape and drawn into that sort of. I guess I was drawn to the colour, and then I kind of wondered in a commercial context, perhaps, what that was sort of going to say to me and communicate to me, because I was intrigued by the pattern, but then I was kind of just a bit confused, I guess, about the resolution of what I was, in a commercial context being led to.
Do you want to just swing the mic to Jackie there, and we'll hear from Jackie, please.
78. What was holding me back from going into that next scoring range was just it felt overlit. I think it was an opportunity missed. I would have loved to have seen the triangle at the top just dull down a little bit and to direct my eye a little bit more. Be the master of all these pixels and push them around and make them really luscious. Perhaps some polarization would have cut back the brightness of the window on the bottom, so a little bit more crafting. But I'm listening.
Thanks, Jackie. Back to you, Matt.
Yeah, in terms of the commercial application of the rust, I feel like a lot of people are actually going for that kind of look now. Not necessarily for all people, but that is a treatment of corrugated iron that is sold as new rather than as aged. So I feel like it's showing different ways of using the materials, both modern and kind of bringing that farmhouse feel but into a modern context, which is unusual, but it exists. In terms of what Jackie said, I 100% agree, and that's why I was at the low silver range rather than into silver distinction, because I think the form that we're seeing here is worthy of greater reward, and had it been darkened down, like you were saying, selectively, then wow, that would have really popped and been something bold. But I'm on silver, see what you can do.
Alrighty, rescore, please. Well done. We have a silver award at 80. Good discussions, guys. Congratulations to the photographer. And next image, please. Just another plug for something else pretty cool happening this week. If you're in Christchurch, we have some free education sessions with PhotoConnect. You do need to register for these events, but they are free, so just check out the schedule and sign up at nzphotoshow.co.nz. Okay, we have an initial score of 84 silver and an automatic challenge from Jackie.
So I'm asking you to come into gold at 92. It's again this organic nature of the piping, the chosen point of view, the beautiful sharpness of where it needs to be sharp all the way through to the bronze. In the middle, there's a sense of heart. There's a sense of portrait here, a sense of shoulders and a armature that's taking me to other places, which I think it means sophistication and another level of communication. The lighting that comes down the front, that's uneven. That's what brings the humanity in here. It makes it not just an interior space, but it's light that's coming in, and perhaps you might find that to be a distraction, but I find it to bring the realness to it. The tonal range is gorgeous, so for me it's gold at 92.
Thanks, Jackie. Clinton, you're down the other end.
I am down the other end. I was 77. I hear you, Jackie, and there were just things that really took me out of the organicness, which is the heart element of it. Some of the things are just simple, would be simple fixes, like some of the distorted signage or words, taking some of that out, the vents. Yes, I see there's a lone bird, and we love lone birds, but I really couldn't get my eye past this top right corner that didn't add anything to me, and it took so much away from the image for me. So it wasn't like it was breaking the frame to draw me into the image, because all the other coils do that already. So it actually became this really dominant colour, shape and focus point that just, it robbed the rest of the image for me. So I'd love to hear if I'm just out on a limb being a crazy old man, but yeah, I didn't get past that and couldn't, yeah.
Okay.
I'm listening. Tell me more.
Let's hear from Matt, Jeremy and Adam. You guys are pretty close in scores. Yep. Yeah, go for it, Jeremy.
Yeah, I agree, Jackie. When I see images like this that are so symmetrical, it's nice to see parts that pull you out of that mirroring that happens with images like this. The thing that I'm struggling with the most is that this space is obviously designed for humanity, yet the only organic matter is a bird in the sky. I would rather there not be a bird in the sky, maybe a hand on a rail or someone moving through a frame to bring me back into that space, because the bird actually pulls me out. And I'm like, why am I distracted by the bird? So I think that I'm at 83, so I'm awarding this image. Like, I do love it. But I just think if it went in the other direction of an organic being human, as opposed to a bird, I would have been up there with you.
Yeah, does anyone else have anything else to add? Matt? Yeah.
I didn't mind the gold decorative kind of vertical railing in the top right-hand corner. I felt like that offset your expectations, and it took away from that symmetry, and also gave it a sense of a different scale and movement. And I feel like this image is drawing you through the center in the different layers. I was held back on silver by the amount of real estate given to that darker layer around the outside, and I feel like Jackie talking about the humanity of that helps a little. But yeah, I feel like that might help explain the rail at least.
Thanks, Matt. Back to you, Jackie.
Yeah, great discussion. You know, I as a judge, I keep learning too, coming on board here. And I think you've all said what you needed to say from your own point of views. And the bird, yeah, I'd leave out the bird because I think it's strong enough as it is. And I'm still going to obviously be there at 92. And thanks for the listen.
All right, rescore, please. And we have a silver distinction at 86. Congratulations to the photographer. Next image, please. And we have a silver distinction at 85. Congratulations to the photographer. Who would like to give feedback on this one? Adam? Yeah, go for it.
It's quite an arresting. Her gaze, it grabs you at first, and you kind of get up and wonder. You create the narrative, I guess, for yourself of what are we sort of seeing here. I almost sort of see her like the perfume bottle, almost. Sort of standing nice and proud, which gives me the context for why there's no arms and maybe the decorative decorations. Then it's just about playing how everything sits in the frame, and there's something not quite in balance, just a little bit off kilter, perhaps, that just maybe draws me out to the top of the frame a little bit. I'm not sure what it is, but it's just worth making sure that everything's in the right spot and leading you right through the frame. It's very strong still.
Great feedback. Thank you, Adam. All right. Next image, please. And just while the judges are checking this one out, don't forget that everyone here today, there is an award that celebrates the judges or panel chairs. So don't forget to give us all a vote. Pick your favourite judge and pop a name in a box. If you need to know how to spell my name, come find me. Lidia. Yeah, thank you. And we have a bronze award at 77. Yep, and there is a hand up. Jeremy, you'd like to challenge that one?
Yeah, sure.
Take it away.
Yeah, I was on 82. I think this is a really strong, bold, simple, clean, graphic image that can be enjoyed from, 3 metres away or right up close. I can see there's a couple of technical issues that held us back from probably going further, and maybe some additions, but sometimes images just need to be nice and clean and simple. Unfortunately, the perspective, it's tilting in a little bit, so the top left and top right are just pulling in a touch. Maybe that's what held people back. But yeah, keeping in the light with the shadow, the time of day that it was photographed, I think that shadow adds another element to this image. I think it's, worth discussion at least.
All right, Jackie, let's hear from you, please.
72, but I'll raise my. I think I've been too tight on this one. I just was not sure about the message. Besides aluminium or walling and the time of day, I just didn't have an emotional connection with this one. But I'll judge accordingly.
Yeah, Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of energy in the colour on the left, and then you have movement with the light because that diagonal is moving away from the diagonals of the paint. So when I saw it, I was thinking, it'd be really interesting if they use that repetition of patterns to pull the light closer in and then compose perhaps a square or something that was a bit tighter and had a little bit more tension around the edges, because I feel like a lot of the energy of the left is sort of falling off by the time you get to the light. So that's just a consideration potentially for the photographer, and perhaps something you can address.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, Adam.
Really quickly, I guess for me, I gave it an 80, and I wanted to reward the photographer for the strength in perhaps what's just a found image. And sometimes if you photographed a lot of big industrial sheds where people go make it look beautiful, I think the photographer's probably found, and maybe that's their corporate logo or their colours or something like that, where they've simplified everything, gotten rid of all the distractions. As you say, the time of day even, it gives you that shape. So I think it's about, we always ask what the photographer brings to an image, and it's something that's as simple as this. It can be just those choices and keeping it perhaps in reality, even for the commercial client. I wanted to reward them up into silver.
All right, back to you, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, there's more questions than answers here, and I see that this could be the side of a shed of a dirt bike team who wants to, hide their identity by not branding it with, the logo of whatever racing team they are. But for me, I get that vibe on the side of this shed that, it's possibly holding a dirt bike racing team, and the colours are enough to identify who they are, and if you know the colours, then you know the team. So I think this would be a beautiful shot printed and hung inside the shed for them to go, yeah, this is us. So I think there's boldness to it. I think it's well seen, well captured. Whether it's just a found image or someone's commissioned them, who knows? But I think it's worth, a few more points than what we've given it.
Alrighty, judges, please rescore. Ooh, we've got a 79, so we're going to have to review that. So you guys need to decide if it is a bronze or a silver, please. And we remain bronze award, 79. Congratulations to the photographer. And that is the end of our commercial category today. So, woo. Thank you to all my judges today. You guys have been great. And yeah, thank you very much. Well done to everyone who got awards. Woo! Thanks to Angela, superstar on the side. Yeah. And Doug. Woo! Go Doug! Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. Bye. All right, finals. Yeah, commercial final judges. We've got Craig, Richard, Jackie, Dederick, and Jeremy, please. So take yourselves to the waiting area out there. Thank you very much. Come get your tags.